It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and you're welcome to yet another educational discussion on the Now Streaming Show. Good morning, viewers. This program is reaching you live from the ACNN TV station in Abuja. We are excited to have you join us on today's show. I am Chidima Ndukuba, your anchor, and my co-anchor is in the studio, joining us in the studio today, and she's
I am Rachel Egbunu. Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Now Streaming this beautiful Wednesday morning. Good morning, Chidima.
good morning.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. So joining us in the studio is Miss Dorcas Awusa, who is the Program's Assistant, Youth Employ and Development Initiative. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Ms. Dorcas.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Viewers will be discussing a very important and disturbing topic: the decline in the Nigerian educational sector. Who is to be blamed? Remember, you can be part of the conversation by calling the number showing on your screen or sending your comments via our various social media platforms. Viewers, and if you're joining us, this is still the Now Streaming live program, and we are on to the discussion segment. I'm still your anchor, Chidima Ndukuba, and my co-anchor is still with me in the studio.
Thank you for still staying with us.
Also, still with us in the studio is Miss Dorcas Awusa, who is the Program's Assistant, Youth Employ and Development Initiative. Welcome.
Thank you.
The education in Nigeria is based on the 6334 system, which involves 3 levels of the institutional learning process: 6 years in primary school, 6 years in secondary, and 4 years in a tertiary institution. Education is an investment that pays off anytime, any day, anywhere. And in a world of crumbling economies and turbulent times, where investors spend sleepless nights trying to figure out how their stocks are doing, investing in education becomes even more important and paramount. By investing in education, governments, corporations, communities, NGOs, and individuals can help prepare the youth for the challenges ahead. If children are truly the leaders of tomorrow, then it's time we started investing in them. Or what do you think? Regrettably, illiteracy have come to stay in many developing countries of the world, including Nigeria, or should I say especially Nigeria. And it has continued to pose a threat to many nations. Aside from that, there have been a drastic decline in the standard of education in Nigeria, which is so sad. From the discouragement of teachers, definitely because they don't pay them well, down to the loss of interest in students. It has become a well-known phenomenon that young university graduates in Nigeria don't always find life easy, especially when it comes to securing jobs, which instigated the popular saying, "School na scam." This has pushed the younger generation to put their attention on other things that most probably will give them a better life. We'll be looking at who to blame. Is it the country, the leaders, parents, or the students? Grab your coffee, stay locked in, and feel free to join our conversation. Get your questions ready, and remember you can call or send in your comments via our social media platforms, and also call the number on the screen. We will keep it real and relevant. Now we'll go straight to the discussion. Okay, over to you. My co-anchor.
okay.
I think you should start.
Yeah, I think you said, I was just listening to her intro when we came back from the break. Yes, educational system, the decay in our educational system in Nigeria. As it stands now, what is the state of our educational system in Nigeria, and what can you say about the educational sector in Nigeria as a whole, holistically? Yeah.
Okay, I would say that the educational sector in Nigeria is in a mess, is in complete distress. I mean, while we have bright people in Nigeria who are willing to go to school and some that may not be willing to go, we are faced with a lot of challenges. I mean, the system is plagued with poor infrastructure, underpaid teachers, poor funding, and so much more. I mean, if you go to certain schools in rural areas, you see students are unable to have good access to classrooms. Some have classrooms without chairs, and some of them don't even have access to technical devices like laptops and other things. And the issues can go on and on and on. And to compound it all, we have issues of insecurities. When there's insecurity in the country, how do you expect that a student or a parent will really allow their kids to go to school and learn? And so many other issues that we have, the gap in technical aspect, and so much more. Nigeria is in complete distress. I mean, educationally, we have a lot of problems from the university down to secondary school, down to the primary schools, and lots more. If we keep going about it, will not come to an end. I think it's a very big problem that we have to tackle.
Like when she started it, she said Nigeria educational system is in a mess.
Serious
When
mess.
one says something is a mess, it's in state that it's almost beyond repairs. That is what we have in our educational system as it is now. Over to you, Chidima.
Yeah, our educational system in Nigeria it's really terrible. The government is not interested. Parents are no longer interested, because you hear a parent telling the child, please look for something to make money. You see parents that are very much aware that their children are into fraudulent activities, and you see them encouraging the child. They are no longer interested in education because they know that it's not going to pay. But then we'll look at another question. Yes, we know that this is it. Should the blame be on the parents or on the government or on the students themselves? Are they discouraged? Are the government saying, this is not really necessary, it's not going to help our nation or so? So who takes the blame for the falling standard of education in Nigeria?
Okay, I think the blame won't just go to the government. It's shared across multiple levels.
Yes.
From the government first for underfunding education. I mean,
Before you go ahead, my director just whispered a comment from one of our viewers. He said, why will the government be interested in education when we have most of them who are not educated? So you hear that someone who is not educated, will they be interested in the education of the country? Please go ahead.
These are the issues. And then we have teachers using outdated curricula to teach students in 21st century. I mean, there are some courses that I feel like should be scrapped completely from our universities, our secondary schools, because they are irrelevant. Let's
outdated.
Yes, they are outdated, they are irrelevant altogether. And then we can look at families and communities for not prioritizing education. There are some communities where you go to and the highest qualification there is SSC, some at most ONDs. I've been privileged to work with people that recruit employees to their organizations, and when they come with their CVs, you are seeing mostly SSCE, you are seeing ONDs coming to apply for jobs, and these are children that should be able to go to school and learn. But first of all, there's no means for them to go, and the issues are much, honestly. So I think the issue is first the government for underfunding, teachers for using outdated curriculums, and then communities and parents and families for not prioritizing education. Those are the major issues, if you ask me.
Yeah, and one other thing, when it comes to our family and the communities, I read something this morning. You know, some of our people, most of them who are into farming and stuff, when it is time for harvest and planting and market days, that is a no for them. Exactly. These children have to go assist their parents, assist the community in harvesting, in planting, and the market days too. They will, okay, like this is where we can get something. This is where we can get our money. If I don't go to the market to sell stuff, how am I going to get money to pay for my children? So we have so many things hindering, so many things that are factors hidden at the decline of education in Nigeria. And we have this: what are the causes of decline in Nigeria, in our education system?
I think before we look at that question, we can, you want to read the...
Yes. We have this.
Important.
Only 1.16% of underage UMTE candidates show exceptional ability. That is underage. I think as from, what I say, teenagers, from 13 to, let's say, 16, 17. Yeah, 16 probably. That is about 1.6 of them exceptional ability. This jam that just passed, and over 1.5 million candidates underscored below 200 in the 2025 UME. So now the question is, what are the causes of the decline in our education system as it is? Because it's going from bad to worse every year.
This year's one was very
it's too alarming. It is
1.16%. That's bad.
It's bad, and less about over 1.5 million candidates scored below 200 in this very recent JAM examination, and we had about is it 1.9 who wrote.
So that's terrible.
So the people who got above that 200 is just about 400,000.
Yeah, 420.
That's
really bad.
So is it that they are now giving students an exam to write that they don't teach them or prepare them for?
I hear from what some students are saying. We have so many, I know Dorcas will come who say to that. We have so many factors that lead to this decline and with the results we have before us. Some, like she said, the curricular, and some, whatever it is they teach them, these are not questions that are being presented to them at the end of the day to write. So many of them don't know what answer to give to this. And so many of them had issues in their CBT centers. We had so many disruption. I know in is it Kwara State or where the students protested, throwing away chairs and stuff like that, because it's not funny, and you give these children limited time to answer this, and you didn't make provision for adequate arrangement for these things to go smooth. These children are frustrated. See what the resultant effect at the end of the day. So what do you expect when the results start coming in? So please talk us.
Okay, so the question is, what are the causes of the decline? I think first to note is lack of interest for youths. I mean, imagine where you have a sibling at home who is maybe a year older than you, or 2 years, who has gone to school, passed through the system, and is back home without a job or something unable to hold back to. You, as the person who is the child going for, looking forward to going to university or thereabout, you don't want to give your best into it. So I think the major issue first is lack of interest, and then like far beyond the underfunding of the universities, or
so that this part on the part of the students.
Yes, on the part of the student. I think first of all is lack of interest. You're not willing to sit down and study first of all to be able to pass these exams, and then back to the government. We are not ready for. In fact, let me say technological gap. Like there's a lot of gap between other countries and Nigeria. For instance, they are going to write an exams and your system is not working. Like what we watched just now, your system is not working. You're trying to start up your exams at the given time, and your system is lacking behind or is crashing, and so much issues that comes up with these exams. Personally, when I wrote my exam, it was a bit reasonable. Mine in Abuja here was a bit reasonable. But when you go back home, you hear other students saying, I could not finish because the system went off, internet connectivity, there's no network.
Power supply.
Yes, low power supply. The crowd, first of all, is too much for a particular venue. So how do you expect that you're able to go out there, write exams, and come back sane and whole, and expect you will pass the exams? Even in universities, I think some months back, I heard that the school I attended, they had introduced CBT writing, and most students went to school to start up the exams, and they could not write the exams because of the system was failing. So it's a big issue on both the student's hand and the hand of the government.
And most of the students don't have prior knowledge of the computer, how to operate the computer. They don't want.
They've never seen.
So how do you want these people
to?
How do you want them to answer questions? We have people, students that are coming from the rural areas to write this.
They have not seen electricity.
No. So how do you expect them to write this and come out well of the exam? And their sanity too matters when they come to an examination hall. Things are not working out. The things they've read, and so before they sit down to write, every other thing has vanished from their head. So their sanity also matters. So what do you expect from them? What at the long run?
And to add to that, even the teachers who are meant to guide them towards the process that don't even have knowledge on it. So the issues, there are plenty.
It's much. Yeah. It's much on our table. Okay, so now we see the results in the JAM so far. Like 100 and how many now? We have 4,756 got 320 to 400. That is the score now. 4,756 is 24%, and from 300 to 319 we have 7,658 thousand people. That is a 0.39%, and from 300 to 400 we have 12,414,000 people combined together, with 0.63%, and 250 to 299 we have about 73,441 people. That is a 3.76%. From 200 to 249 that is about 334,560, is 17.11%. Then coming down from, we have 160 to 199, 983,187. It goes on and on and on, and from 100 to 119 scores we have 320,000 of 0.20% out of the 1,955,069 candidates that wrote the exam. So who does the decline in Nigeria sectors affect the more? Who does it really affect? Is it the students now? Is it the parents after pouring in all their money inside, and at the end, most of these students are good. The sure we're going to write another exam come next year. They're going to write again, except
and
if
it's not cheap.
It's
most
not.
of these persons, their parents have not even seen money.
It is not.
But
so
they had to pay that
who
price.
does
And
this
transportation to your centers.
Who does this very decline affect?
Or is it the government? Of course, you know that.
Do they really feel it?
I think the first people it affects is the youth. We the youth. I mean, you have low opportunities going through all of these problems, and then it falls back to the government. But the major people it falls on first is the youth. The youth are unable to have access to reasonable jobs in the country because they don't have good certificates to show for it. I mean, when you go to apply for jobs, you hear 2 years experience. You hear
where are you getting that
someone. Yes, you hear you have to have first class, second class if you can get a job. For a person who has not been able to go to university, how do you expect that you can excel or get that job? So it falls back to the youth, first of all, ourselves, then the government, and maybe our families. No, not even maybe. In fact, the youth, our families, and then the government. Because when you're able to go to school, you become a nuisance to the society. You start having catches here and there. Because you're uneducated.
Fraudulent activities.
Exactly.
Killing, kidnapping.
Thank you.
So will you say that the government is not paying the necessary attention to the educational system?
Yes, absolutely.
Why do you think so?
Okay, I think first of all, we don't really put education in our budgeting. As a
prioritize
yeah,
it.
we do not, as like the government do not.
Teachers well.
Yes, why are teachers not being paid properly to teach students?
Even
why
lecturers now in university,
they are suffering,
and that's why they tax students commit a
Yes.
lot of crime.
And currently
Yes.
we have FCT teachers currently on strike because
Exactly.
they are not being paid. And you expect these people to go to the classroom every day to teach the student on what?
I mean, both non-academic staffs are suffering, academic staffs too are suffering. You are not making preparations for these people. And sometimes when it's being made, there are people siphoning the funds. It is being diverted to different things, not what it is meant for. So the issues are a lot, honestly.
And we have the standard of our education to you don't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
In the part of our teachers,
Exactly.
most of them are not sound. They're
Yes.
not educated or up there. So what do they teach the students? Like our village schools there, you see, is it the environment, the facilities, their classrooms? I served in Osun State. You could see their public schools, the buildings dilapidated, and you expect these children to sit on the ground to learn. So what, at the end of the day, what do you expect to get from this set of
And
children?
their idea of education is beginning to
It's
tilt.
myopic, yeah.
Because these same students, the youths, are still the ones that when they leave Nigeria for abroad, they are the best.
They are
They
exceptional.
are the
They are.
best.
They
They are
are.
the best. So, what is the problem?
I feel we have so many. Look at students under the sun. What if the rain starts? You expect them to still stay under this
They all run away now.
will I call it covering to learn? How are they going to learn under this condition, for heaven's sake? The environment is not conducive. What they are being taught,
The teaching
the
methods,
teaching method,
the
the
curriculum.
crowd is even too much. So
Yes.
how do you teach
The
this?
teachers themselves are not in the right mind to teach. I recall back then, my 100 level, this particular teacher we had it was a math course. He would set classes for 3 p.m. in the evening. I mean, why would you set class for 3 p.m. when we're already tired of going up and down looking for venues to learn in the morning and then coming back to learn mathematics in the afternoon?
No,
I
you
will
don't
not
teach such
focus.
courses in the
And then the
You're
worst-
just
those courses
reminding
are
me
in
of
the
how we
morning.
did our
Exactly.
100 level in
And then the
school.
worst of all is we are so many. We are from agric, from biology, medicine, vet medicine. We are all together in the same hall, and then we are so plenty. And you are in front. You are teaching. The next thing I ask you, are you understanding? We'll say no, sir. It's okay, but those in front can understand. So let's keep going.
That
So
ends
how
it.
how do you expect that I'm going to grow in this kind of environment?
And
Or
of
even
course,
want
it
to
makes
put
a
more
lot of
effort?
persons lose
Exactly.
interest.
It took the grace of God for most of us to pass that course. There was mass failure. Mass failure.
Okay, now, so we've outlined all the factors that leads to the decline in our educational systems in Nigeria now. And okay, what are the solutions? How can we salvage this situation so it doesn't get worse than it is at the present? Because this has gotten it's been a while. We have even I was reading right from, is it 1985 or so, decline. It is not now. This has been on the ground and it continues like this. So what do we need to do that we are not doing differently to make this thing happen?
Is it a mindset
Yeah.
issue? Should there be an orientation to change the mindset of the students or the teachers? What is it exactly?
Yeah, she mentioned, I think one of you mentioned earlier how, okay, yeah, you did. Your boss mentioned how that when the government itself is not educated, how do you expect the education sector should be educated? Yeah, so I think what we should do is, in as much as these people might not be, we can put in the right people to handle these structures. If we have a reasonable Minister of Education in Nigeria, he will know, okay, let us do this to make the sector more appropriate and work properly. And then let's see how they can also involve the teachers in this, teach them what to do, put them on trainings, let them learn, let them get used to other devices that could make teaching even easier and friendly for students. Because there are some countries that they don't use chalk to write on the board anymore.
Yeah.
They have digital softwares that help them learn together, teach. When you go back home, you can always access these courses. But in Nigeria, when you go to a lecturer's office, when you go to for lectures, you mostly see blackboards. You don't hear oral teachings that would motivate you to go for more. And then we can also look at how we can involve new curriculums, new, like for today's world. there are courses that you cannot do and you'll be happy about. We have web development, we have UI, UX, we have AI intelligence. Yeah, we have a lot of all these things. Let us bring them back. Let us relate them back to today's world, today's fast-paced world. As a person that studied some courses behind, you cannot come back and thrive, because even video editing now, people are making good money out of it.
Like I said, when I finished school, whatever it is, the practicals and everything they taught me there in school, but coming to put it into practice, there are so many things. It's like I was just behind. I've learned so many things even on ground. So you don't just stay with whatever it is that you've learned in the past. Learning it's a continuous process. It doesn't stop. It's a continuous process. You just go and on and on and on and on. And I hope, like, we can't just leave it in the hands of our government. We can't. Our parents, the students themselves, the private sectors. Please, we should come together, do something, because this is becoming a recurring situation that we don't really want to continue. We're saying about how many scaled through. So those ones that couldn't make it will have to come back again next year and write this same exam.
That's if they've not lost the motivation.
And in the same
not to go back to school again.
You still fail again.
So we hope something is being done, and our mindset again needs to be revived, changed. Yes.
And I liked what she said about the youths taking initiative. We should go beyond what is being taught in school. Learn some skills, put them to good use. Talk with people of like minds. Don't limit yourself, because the educational system in Nigeria is limiting. Even if you get a job now, they don't pay well. Which company will pay you well? We feed you, clothe you, house you. So you need to take up a skill.
Do it for yourself.
Yes, do it for yourself.
Okay, now, Dorcas, we hear you're into something, so we want you to tell us more about you and what the Youth Empower Initiative is doing to help improve the education sector.
Youth Employ. Okay, so you already know my name. I'm Dorcas Awusa, and I'm passionate about youth empowerment. I'm passionate about personal and collective growth. I thrive in communities where people are willing to take the initiative and grow themselves, move from one level to the other, not just settling for what they see, but looking beyond it. And working with the employers really shapes my mind to see that life is beyond what you just have on your plate. You can forge the life you want. And Youth Employ, we go as far as setting workshops, seminars, webinars that help youths become employable. So if you are willing to accept a job, we teach you, how do you position yourself for a job, personal branding, CV writing, and even mentorship and pitching opportunities, where you come to learn about these things and you can do it yourself. You don't have to sit down behind and wait for someone to come and help you. No, with us on the side, we're able to put you on the track. We do to mentorship, networking opportunities where you can meet people that are like you, who are learning, who are growing, and then you can put your mind together and grow together. So basically, that's what we do.
So far, what are the testimonies, the effect of this training and the mentorship so far?
We have some persons who, I recall some months back, my boss was saying, we have a platform, first of all, where we post job opportunities. My boss was saying, somebody chatted him up a few months and was saying that he got a job from the link he got. And we're like, oh wow, that's really nice. We never knew somebody got it until he said it. So we have other persons that have started their own foundations now through Youth Employ, the knowledge that they have. People who have traveled outside the country because of the links we send on the group. You can apply for scholarship here and you go out. So there are lots more we've done for people. People are able to start up their own organizations, their own businesses, and they're thriving in it. So there are a lot more. You can even visit our page to see them.
I think we've spent most of our time here now. Your advice and your last words to the various sectors in making this work that is this not our educational system to strive, not to have a decline anymore. Your advice to them and your last word as we round up.
I think the first thing is the government should prioritize education. That is the first thing. If they do, our lives will be better. For parents, they have to put in their best effort for their children, push them to go for more. For the students, don't give up. it's not over yet. You can do beyond what you are seeing. Keep going for more. And for everybody watching me today, I want to say that education is everybody's problem. Let us put our hands together and see how that your younger ones, people you know around you, can see the reason to go to school, become something, give them the push. We all can try if you come together and work together.
That's so true. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You've actually shed a light that's into this gray area that is actually disturbing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Rachel.
you, Chidinma,
I'm very glad and happy that you are here with me on set. So
same
let's
here.
hear your last word.
Okay, like Dorcas, is it Dorcas now?
Yeah.
Dorcas rightly said, we shouldn't, it's the education system, it's a concern of every other person, not just leave it in the hands of the government, the youth, the students, the family, the community too, and the teachers. What needs to be done should be done at the right time, and I hope with the things we've rightly said here on the program will be put in place, and this is not what we'll be seeing come next year with the statistics we have on ground now. And the students, strive to do better for yourself. Don't allow anyone to coerce you into doing it, but do it for yourself. You can learn other things, not just in the four walls of the classroom. And I pray our educational system will be great once more.
Yes. Thank you very much. That was apps. Thank you so much. Viewers, thank you for joining us today. We are very sure that you learned a lot. Of course, you wrote down things to do. Even as a youth joining us today, I'm very sure that you have things that you start doing differently today. Thank you very much. And as we wrap up, let's remember that education is key to our nation's growth. Who is to blame? Maybe it's time to shift our focus to who can make a difference. We all have a role to play. Governments, educators, parents, students. Let's work together to revive our educational system. And let's not forget the power of love and care in education. When we prioritize our children's learning and well-being, we can create a brighter future. Thank you for being on the show with us today. I remain your anchor, Chidinma Ndukuba. Have a beautiful day. And please stay tuned and keep watching ACNN TV. God bless you and bye.